This is the Survive-A-Can, and it's a survival kit in a can that we're going to go ahead and open up and take a look at and see if this $25 survival kit in this little paint can actually help you survive or if it's a waste of money. I'm going to tell you right now, I haven't opened it, and I'm pretty interested to see what it's got because just the listing of stuff here is pretty promising. This either is going to be one of our best or one of our biggest busts. I can already tell you right now, I can see one huge glaring issue with it. But we're going to get into that in just a second. I'm going to go ahead and flip the camera around. We're going to get down here on the table, get nice up and close with the Survive-A-Can and see what it has to offer and if it might be something that you should consider for your own kit. So let's check it out. All right, here is the Survive-A-Can up close and personal. So this is, if you couldn't tell, this is just a tiny little, basically this is one of those little paint sample cans you get if you go like to the Home Depot or save big money at Menards. You get a sample of paint. That's basically what this is. And it's just wrapped in their own little label. Issue Alpha Essentials. Apparently that's the model of it. They only make one now. If you go to surviveacan.com, it redirects to some different site. I'm guessing maybe this is their side business. I don't know. It's a candle site, but then they also sell survival kits. Interesting things I discover because of YouTube. So there's the contents, but let's go ahead and open it up. Here's my first problem with it. Okay, you're in a survival situation. You need to open this. What? You're not. Okay, this is a flip, right? It's waterproof. It's weatherproof. It's drop proof. It's you-proof. If you're not prepared, and like me, you keep something in your pocket to get it open, which in this case, we're just going to go ahead and use the old handy-dandy Swiss Army knife. However, here's our first problem with it. I'm going to say as I'm opening it, is if you don't have a Swiss Army knife with you, if you don't have something to open it, you are, well, SOL. I don't care if it's only $25. You're up a creek, man. So there we go. It is on there good. It is sealed well. I'll give them that. Full disclosure, I spent my own money on this. They have no idea who the heck I am. I just went on their website and ordered it. Also, size comparison, there's a Swiss Army knife. This is the camper, the hiker. I don't remember which one this is in here right now, but it's not very big. And it also is very light, so that it has that going for it. I also am going to apologize in advance. It is windy today. So, just hopefully I'd get my noise reduction settings right. And you're not getting blasted out, but we are real world. First item off the top. Now we're going to evaluate this like I evaluate all my other kits. What are the things that you need for 24 to 72 hours to survive? You need shelter, heat, water. Because without shelter and heat, you're going to die from exposure. Without water, you're going to die from dehydration. I don't care how cold or warm it is. All those things you need to survive. You keep your body temperature regulated. So this is just your regular old book of matches, and you get it at the gas station or the bar or whatever when you're stumbling out. And I smoked 20 years ago. So that's your standard book of matches. To go along with fire, looks like this must be interesting. This is some cotton balls. So it's 10 cotton balls. So I'm going to tell you right off the get that the fire situation looks good because you got a bunch of cotton balls in here. Okay? Just a cotton ball. Nothing serious about it, but we're going to get into what else they have for the fire. So yes, you can easily make fire with the cotton ball and with the book of matches. In this wind, you're going to have fun. But you can do it. It's doable. Let's see what's in there next. And it's a little cold out, so. Okay. This is cool. I'm going to be doing that all day, trying to keep those from flying. White petroleum jelly. So that would be usable with the cotton balls. To make fire, put some white petroleum jelly on it. It helps extend the flame a little bit, and it helps them go up better because, it's petroleum. Okay. This is a little LED flashlight. Boy, she ain't got a lot to her left to her, but it'll in a pinch, you'll be glad you have it. But this is your basic button flashlight. Okay, we really do have a lot in the fire department. I am impressed. Here, let's go here. This looks like, okay, this is one of those compressed towels. You know, get this a little wet, it expands out. You're right here. Let me just verify that that's what I'm looking at. Yeah, it is a compressed towel ×2. So there's supposedly 2 of these in here. Useful for cleaning up a wound, cleaning up yourself, or in a pinch starting a fire. Okay, we're doing really good in the fire department. This is, if you couldn't tell, this is a beeswax candle. That's good for not only fire starting, but if you make a tiny little shelter, like a Mylar shelter or something, that actually could provide a little bit of heat. It's going to take the edge off. It's not going to, if it's below freezing out, you know, you're in trouble with just this, but it could take the edge off. It's also a long burning fire source to get a fire going, or to maybe dry out some tinder. Okay, if you can see in this little bag, it looks like we have a couple stormproof matches, a couple safety pins, and we have a couple needles. Those are in the clothing, wound repair, fire starting, just general use. Yeah, so you got a couple needles in a waterproof container, which is nice. Shelter building, etc., etc. You know, do with that as you will. That's cool. Those aren't Yuko, but they're like a Yuko knockoff stormproof match. Here, let's see if they... we're going to test those in a minute. We'll come back to those. There's another towel, another compressed towel. Another beeswax candle. Okay. Then we got one of these little, one of these Dermasafe razor knives. All right, so we're going to talk about these really quick. Somebody brought this up in the comments to another video and made a very good point. I have huge hands. If my hands are shaking, or if they're, you know, if I'm in a survival situation and scared, I'm going to break this. Okay, it's not going to be the greatest. This is a last ditch. This is a last ditch option. Let's just be clear on that. That is a last ditch option for this kit. You already are going to need to have something to open it up, right? So that's your last ditch option. We're not going to judge that either way. Those are fine for survival. They're fine for that, but just, you know, keep that in mind. Your dexterity is going to be affected when you're cold. I mean, it is cold out today, and you're trying to grip this, trying to use that as a utility knife. Is it better than nothing? Absolutely. And it's good for a little kit like this. And here we have some twine around a little Fresnel lens. You can see that right there. Just a plastic Fresnel lens. It's nothing special, and it is just some twine. Let's see if what do they say? They say it's Kevlar string. 5 yards of it. Yeah, it's probably Kevlar, actually. Look at that. It does look like it's string. Let's just say it's string. We're just going to judge it based on string. Shelter building, you know, repair, etc., etc. Pink salt. Pink salt can be useful for, you know, electrolytes. And I just like pink salt, so they get a little bonus. I don't know. But getting you some electrolytes back, that's useful for that. See what else we have in here. We're going to lose everything. This is, what is this? Huh. All right, this is one of the more interesting fishing kits I've seen. This is cool. So you got some fishing line that looks like this is like a braided line. So that's useful not just for fishing, because we've already talked about in situations like this, fishing is just something you're going to do to keep you busy, keep your mind busy, to maybe get a little moral victory. Even the most experienced, unless you're in an area where fish are prevalent. But you got a little spool of fishing line. That's cool. That is that braided line. And a couple grubs, and a couple hooks, and a couple sinkers. This is one of the more interesting fishing kits, and you know I'm not a very big fan of them. So I'm going to set that out to the side in a manner that it doesn't blow away. Okay, this is cool. We have a reinforced skin closure strip. So This is 1/4 by 1.5, 6 of them per pack. So just a little, just your butterfly bandage basically, but close that wound. Okay, it's a good addition. What else do we have in here? We have another pink salt and electrolytes. If you catch a fish, season it, etc., etc. What do we got at the bottom? Got some wire, which is, how much is it? 30 yards. That's 30 yards. Okay, so that's regular thread. They're saying the Kevlar string. I bet you that's what that fishing line, the braided line is Kevlar string. 20 gauge, 2 yards. So shelter building, etc., etc. Last thing we have in here is a Mylar bag, which throw your uses down below. Could have several uses, but this is what is in the Survive-A-Can for $25. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to get everything put back in here. We'll flip the camera around, and we're going to do some last thoughts here before the wind blows it all away. So I'll see you in just a second. But this is the contents of the Survive-A-Can survival kit. Okay, so that's the contents of the Survive-A-Can. Now, what do I think? Again, this is $25. It's shipped to my door. I think it was under $30. What I paid for it for just one of them. It is a very interesting concept. However, again, we judge these on, shelter, heat, water. So heat wise, you're covered. You have plenty of ways to make a fire in here. This is a good kit as far as fire goes. There's some that are just terrible with that. This one nails it. Very good kit with fire. Shelter doesn't really have anything. I mean, it has some twine. It has some fish, Kevlar fishing line, etc., etc. You're on your own. Okay, so fails on that one. It doesn't really fail, but I'm not going to give it a pass. Water, you're just up a creek basically. It doesn't have. I would love to see a couple aqua tabs or something like that in here. A couple iodine tabs, anything that would push this one well higher, like really, really higher, because it does have, your first aid. It does have some of that extra stuff, that DermaSafe knife, and it's $25, and it's in this nice little can, which is good and bad. This is, of course, waterproof. It's, drop resistant. It's crush resistant, and you could use it in a pinch to boil some water, just a little bit of water, and you could also technically, I suppose, use the Mylar bag to boil water if you're very careful. That is possible. However, I'm going to let you be the judge on this one and tell me down in the comments what you think of it. For me, I'm still, it's not going to end up in my kit. It's going to be one that sits on the shelf. It is a very interesting one. I probably will pull some stuff out of it and add some stuff to it, because I might want it as a backup. I could see this being a nice little backup to have just to throw in a bag and just use that way. So that is my thoughts on it. This was actually suggested to me by a commenter. So if you have a kit you want me to check out, go ahead and put it down in the comments. Obviously, the last two are kits that I've bought because of requests in the comments. And I would love to hear your requests. And I'll go ahead and, if it's something I haven't done already, if it's something reasonable, not one of those $400 overland kits. Never going to buy those. That's not my thing. I'll go ahead and pick it up and do a review on it. But that's kind of what I think about it. Not at $25, I just can't do it. Personally, especially that coal cracker kit exists for, what is it, 32 or something like that. The Hooks Outdoors kit for wearing around your neck. The thing that kills me on this one, if it had the water, if it had some sort of water purification, probably get a pass. The problem is getting it open. If I'm in a survival situation and you're not like me and always have your little EDC pack with you, with a EDC bag in your pocket with a Swiss Army knife, you're not getting this open. You're not getting it open with a stick or something. So that's my problem. But in a bag, something else like that with some additions, I could see it being an option. And it is impossible to get everything back into this. So I'm going to have to go home and try to do that. But But again, I'd love to hear your thoughts, and I'd love to hear if you have some suggestions down in the comments while you're down there. If you would, please like, share, and subscribe. It helps me out a lot. It helps me, make the YouTube happy so that I can do more of this stuff and bring these things to you. So I would love it if you do that. Also, while you're down there, I've linked some local animal rescues and animal shelters here in the southeastern Nebraska and Kansas area. If you have your own local animal rescue, animal shelter, please consider helping them either with some of your time, money, or even better, adopting a new best friend. And again, if you don't have your own, I've linked some here that would love your help. Some very wonderful shelters. So please consider that. But again, I want to hear from you, and I want to see you back. My name's Ben. This is Big Ben's Outdoors. And until our next one, this is the Survive-A-Can. And I don't know. Can't get behind this one. I'm sorry. It's just... I'll add a couple things to it. Like I said, I'm gonna add a couple things to it, and I'll throw it on a shelf for something I can grab and throw it like a spare pack or something like that. But for me, it's not gonna be a primary. That's my thoughts, and I can't wait to see you next time. Thank you so much for watching and spending time with me today. We'll see you next time.